everyone, it's Jessie. In today's video, we are going to be very excitingly talking about The Darkest Mind movie, based off of this book right here by Alexandra Bracken. In case you didn't know, it is the release day. Hopefully I get this video up today. I don't know. I have to go to a dentist appointment, so we'll see. My hair's still wet and it's really cold and it's bothering me. Mini review of non-spoilers, and then I'm just gonna go into a spoiler section. I recently saw this movie last night at 10 p.m. Thursday, so it's like very fresh in my mind, so hopefully I have all my thoughts together. I didn't write too many notes, I wrote a little bit. I also don't have glasses or contacts in, so I genuinely can't tell if my camera's focused, and this is why I'm not a professional YouTuber. Also, I still have my band-aid on. I have two children's band-aids on because I couldn't find regular band-aids because I cut my finger with a serrated knife. The Darkest Minds movie. Based off of the trailers, I just did not feel very excited for this movie, even though I was a huge fan of the book. And that being said, with my kind of low expectations going into the movie, I actually was very thoroughly surprised and really enjoyed it. I would probably rate this movie about a B. I did have a few issues with it. We'll talk about those in like the spoiler section, because that's coming from a fan of the books and the movie comparing. Wow, my mind literally just pooped. Where did all my thoughts go? I hate when this happens. So with the Darkest Mind book being a dystopian-ish type novel, it really didn't make sense to me that the movie was coming out now, seeing as how publishers aren't really publishing many dystopians right now because that was a trend of the past a few years ago. The young adult industry with books tends to go through trends of what is most hyped and what the industry sees that people most want, and that was really seen a few years ago when there was like Divergent and the Hunger Games. Dystopian was a huge thing. It didn't make sense to me that The Darkest Minds was coming out now and they didn't do it earlier, but that was probably something to do with the studio. And it just felt really random to me that they were putting this movie out now. I just didn't feel like the timing was right, but I mean, it's now. You can't really do anything once the movie's made, and it wasn't made back then. But I mean, it doesn't take away from the movie. I still enjoyed it. That's just kind of a stupid thing I put in here. I really love the casting for this movie. Oh my gosh. Chubbs, Liam, Zoo, and Ruby. They were such a really great dynamic team, and their chemistry worked really well on camera. One of the big issues I had with the film was the screenwriting. A lot of the lines were kind of like awkward, and you can see the intent of what they were trying to portray with the dialogue, but it just didn't come out as well. And there were scenes from the book, you could tell that they literally pulled word for word, kind of like the scene where, this is probably gonna be spoilers, I'll talk about this in the spoiler section. Basically, what I'm saying is that if you are a fan of the books, or regardless if you have not read the books, I do recommend that you read the books and see this movie. Be sure to support it, please. Highly recommend you guys go see it and support Alexandra Bracken. And let's just move on to the spoiler section now. I can't get over seeing my band-aid. Okay, so like I was saying, a lot of the lines you could tell that they took from the book, like the scene when Liam awkwardly is going to the bathroom in the hotel room trying to give Ruby socks. I think Chubb was probably one of my favorite characters with his dialogue. Like the scene where he's on the dock and Ruby comes up and sits down and he's like, you found me and I've turned into my grandmother or something, looking at a lake. It was just really funny. I think Chubb saved a lot of scenes with his lines. He was one of the characters who continually made me laugh and really enjoy the dynamic of everybody. I feel like he was the glue that like kept the dialogue and everything running. I really enjoyed Zoo's character. I just wish we had a little bit more of her, and I also wish that we had a little more of Liam and Ruby, because I felt like even though in the book they aren't insta-love really, but in the movie it kind of felt that way because we didn't really get any intimate one-on-one moments of them like discussion or talking or anything like that. It was a bunch of forced together closeness moments, like when they're in the mall and those kids are doing that weird thing like having them on top of each other and moving them and like shooting them. Like that was weird, although I enjoy the closeness of seeing them together because I do like their chemistry. I ship them. And then there's that scene at the end of the movie. Throughout the entire movie we didn't get much closeness of Ruby and Liam, which is understandable since she doesn't want to touch him. And then all of a sudden at the end she wraps her arms around him and just holds him, and I'm like, wow, that is like something really intimate, and that's like a relationship type hug. And as much as I was like fangirling in that moment, I went and saw the movie with Caitlin of Big Screen Books, and she can vouch for this, but the entire time I was just like fangirling. I was like, oh my god, this is so cute, this is so cute. But at the same time, like when I went and analyzed that in my mind after seeing the movie and getting out of the theater, I was like, It felt weird, but it was still really cute. That entire dialogue with Liam was a little weird. Like, I just wanted to sit there and watch them hug together like the entire time, and I just thought it was so cute. But I knew in my mind that she was gonna erase all his memories of her, and I was just waiting, and I was crying before it even happened. And I really love that detail of the keychain on his backpack, like as he was walking away at the end of the movie. I didn't understand the stadium thing at the end. Their underlying theme is to like be proud of who you are in this movie, but I felt like they could have had another message there. They could have gone a lot farther with the segregation of the colors. They didn't really play too much on that, and at the end, like, even though the children didn't really want to be segregated like they were in the camps, but in the league they segregated themselves to the colors, I just didn't understand that really. And also, there's a major plot hole in the fact that Ruby erased herself from her parents' minds. She was in the garage and the camp took her away. Wouldn't her parents have seen pictures of Ruby, or wouldn't they have seen the fact that in their house they have an entire girl-child room? That's like a major plot point, and I don't know why that wasn't assessed or talked about in the movie. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. And another cheesy thing that pretty much me and all my book friends talked about and agreed on is the fact that the Reds are literal dog humans. I was cringing that entire battle scene when they dropped them down and they're like stance on the ground like dogs. Like, what the actual beep? What the heck? Why? We're gonna need another doctor. I couldn't. That was so cheesy. And let's talk about Clancy. Obviously, we know Clancy is not a good character. When I first saw him when they walked into the room, I was like, wow, this guy is a good actor. He is so good, because like I immediately felt like I trusted him, even though in the back of my mind I know the story and I know Clancy's like a piece of poo. There was one scene where, I think it was like one of the first scenes, Ruby had a meeting with Clancy and they're like sitting on the ground, and I was like, they did a close-up shot of his face and like him talking, they're like exchanging orange stuff, and I turned to Caitlin, I'm like, why does his face look like it's CGI or something, because it's just so flawless. And she's like, I don't know, man, he's just really pretty. It was so funny. I really liked the van scene because that was really similar to how I pictured it in the book. When Ruby went into the market, she ran into Zoo, she chased Zoo. Even though they didn't like run through the woods and make it to a neighborhood, I still really liked the setup of how that scene went and how Zoo let her into the van, because that was kind of exactly how I pictured it in the book. And like the shower scene when Liam gives her the socks, that was just how I pictured it in the book. The one scene I didn't like and I was thoroughly uncomfortable with was the scene where Liam went and found her in the field. I just felt like that dialogue was so awkward, and then it was such a long pause of them just like staring at each other, about to kiss, but just standing there, and I was like, this is not needed. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but let's just have them get close in a non-awkward, I don't know. It was just too awkward and weird for me, and the dialogue and everything in that scene could have been done just at least slightly better. But again, I do love all the actors' chemistry. I did love Liam and Ruby together. And another one of my favorite scenes from the book to the movie was the scene where Ruby's driving the van and like Liam's shoving the tree or whatever to try to stop the cars. And it's when Ruby says, this is so not like riding a bike. That scene was gold. Loved it. I'm probably gonna regret that I'm gonna forget some things to talk about when I edit this, like always, because my thoughts are always jabbled and we all know this. But I think that's pretty much all I have to say so far, at least I think in my head. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any thoughts on the Darkest Minds movie, please comment below. I hope you go see it. I kind of really want to see it again, even though I already saw it. So I probably will be supporting this movie and seeing it 1 or 2 more times, because I just really ship Liam and Ruby, and I don't know if we will get another movie, but I just don't think they're releasing it at a good enough time for it to do super well. But that's all on us. We have to support it, to give it love and ratings and all this kind of stuff. And that's the one thing I don't understand as well. I forgot to mention this. Not done. See, I always remember stuff right as I'm ending a video. Is that when I checked Rotten Tomatoes when I was seeing it Thursday, the day before it came out yesterday, it said it had 29%, and I was like, oof. that made me really hella scared to see the movie. And then I checked Rotten Tomatoes today and it says it has 19%, I think it was 19 or 17%, and I was like, what? Why? I understand that critics, they don't really like the appeal of teen movies for some reason or something, because I think when teen book to movie adaptations are being made, they always try to like dumb the story down for some reason to what they think teenagers like. I don't understand why the rating was so low. I would have given this movie at least, for Rotten Tomatoes, at least a 50-60%. Like, it was an enjoyable, fun movie. I don't know. I always get mad at Rotten Tomatoes. Like, sometimes the ratings are good, sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I just completely don't understand whatsoever. So it's just, everybody's opinions are different. I don't know how their rating system works. Anyways, I'll say it again, I really hope that you guys go see The Darkest Minds and support this movie, because even though I had issues with this movie, I would still like to see more and to see these movies go further. Fingers crossed, even though I wouldn't be excited to see a whole movie of non-existent relationship between Ruby and Liam, and then Liam finding out, and then Liam getting mad, and then tension, and then lots of tension, and then still tension, and then like wait a long time for them to get back together, and that would be really annoying. And I'm talking too much, so I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm Jissy. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel down below, because I hurt my finger and it hurt very much, so please subscribe. Jeez. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! I was also totally jamming out to the song at the end because I love that song. If you're ready, I'll be waiting, come find me. I'm forgetting the lyrics, but I love that song. It's the song that Millie Bobby Brown was in the music video from, so at the end of the movie I was totally ignoring everybody else in the theater and like singing my heart out quietly. An airplane flying overhead. Also, just wanted to ask, since when did telekinetic abilities on a man become so freaking hot? Like, that's my biggest turn on now.